One that comes up to mind is when I had prayed a prayer for God to heal my mom.
Mhm,
It was like for 6, 7 years of the same prayer. Like, God, I don't want anything. Would you just heal her?
mhm,
And whenever that prayer wasn't answered and she had passed, I was just trying to find happiness. I
mhm.
was like, God, I'm so done with you. It was just like I knew that he was there, but like I just didn't want to acknowledge him
Right.
because it hurt so much and I couldn't understand why her. Like why did this have to happen to me, my family? I don't understand. And when we're not happy, and for me at that time I was quite depressed and I was trying to find this happiness. And I was like, okay, like I'm upset with him. Let me just try to find happiness myself and like just do my own thing. And it wasn't there. It wasn't anywhere. And I remember in my being in my room and I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, this is not the woman. This is not the girl that my mom prayed for. Like this isn't she would not be proud of this girl. And I just remember just being so like at my ends of like I am so exhausted. I've tried everything to like be happy again and I just felt so broken and so lost and I didn't want to pretend to be happy anymore because that's not where I was. And so I remember like just being on my knees and I don't know why, but I like spoke to God in that moment.
Mhm.
And I said, like, God, I'm like so exhausted. Like I'm just so tired. I just want rest. Like I just want to just sleep. Like I just want to just like not feel any of these things. I just like shared like what I had felt. And I think that was like the first time where I actually like admitted how I really felt.
Right.
I think when I thought about it this morning of like my prayers of like God, like would you heal my mom? I realized it was like one sided. It was more like it wasn't him to invite God to my feelings and like admit how I was feeling. I think I ran away from it because I didn't want to admit it. I wanted to be strong. But it was my first time really being honest and vulnerable and saying, God, this is where I'm at. Like it was a plea for crying out for help
Right.
and I heard his voice. And
Wow.
I did not think you could actually hear his voice at that time. Um, and I heard it so audibly and so clearly, and that's why I'm in this relationship with God. Like that's what he brought me, and like it just really reminded me of like he will literally
Mm.
find you. Like he has been looking for you, and he's never stopped chasing me. I just was so blind to it, but he had uncovered the blinders in my eyes, the veil for me to actually hear and see him. And
Mhm.
he said, "Try again, but do it with me this time." That's all he had to say. Try again, but do it with me this time. And I was like, okay, like what else do I have to lose? Let me just try it this way one time. And then maybe if I don't like it, maybe that's whenever I'll reconsider everything again. But I was like, you know what? Let's just try it. And he gave me step-by-step instructions of like how to turn my life around. And that's what had brought me to here. Like it's been never a time to turn back around. It was such a God had like made himself so known to me where the things that were broken, the things that felt so like lost and confused and this unfulfilling happiness, it was like he's the sustained joy. And
Mm.
so to me laughing and like being happy, of course, like life has moments still, right, where it's
Right.
not easy, but he is my sustained joy.
Mm.
Even if I have a bad day, he is my sustained joy.
Boy.
And because I know who he is in my life, and he has there was a time where he had kind of like rewinded like, hey, this is where I was, like whenever you were feeling like this, I was here, like
Mhm.
I was there. And it was just like a moment of him just like piecing moments of like, wow, God, I was just really blind, but you were there this whole time, like you were.